What's up, guys? It's Missy from Fire Fitness Camp Fond du Lac. So I'm going to come at you with a day 2 jump speed and workout. So my goal here is to get this one filmed, and just in case YouTube happens to shut us down again, I'm going to go ahead and also record it. So if it doesn't work on here, I'll go ahead and I'll upload it shortly afterwards, but we're going to get it all done. So we're going to start out with that dynamic warm-up, and then we're going to go into some activation exercises. So after kind of thinking about how yesterday's went, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk all the way through the warm-up stuff. But then once we get into the workout, I'm going to give you a demonstration of the whole section, tell you to pause it, go ahead and do the rest of the sets and reps on your own, then play it again, and you'll do the next set and so on. So that way we can kind of keep it moving, and it gives you the time to complete the exercises at the pace you need to do rather than trying to keep up with me and try to understand what I'm saying at the same time. So we're going to start out with our dynamic warm-up. So we're going to start with just leg swings. So again, you can grab onto a pole or a wall, whatever you want to do. Swinging forward, backwards, flex that foot, get that good kick at the back. You're going to go for about 20 on each leg. I think I'm at about 7. Get that good swing. You should feel a stretch in the hamstrings, so the back of your leg when you're coming out front, and you should feel a good kick and a stretch in your hamstring when you're going back to the other side. And then let's switch legs. Same thing. Get that big swing here. Get a good stretch out of it. Loosen up the hips. Loosen up the hamstrings and the quads. Really get a good kick. You should be able to hear how my foot is just kind of skipping along the ground as I make contact with it. So that's right about the height you want it to be. And then let's go ahead and face your wall or your pole or wherever you're at. You're going in front like a pendulum, swinging the leg, open up that hip, loosen it up, keep that foot flexed a little bit. Get them as wide as you can. As you get going on these, you should be able to swing it a little bit wider on each side. And then we'll go over to the other leg. Same thing. Open it up wide as you can. Big reach with that foot. Open up the hips. Let them just swing. Keep that foot flexed. And we just really want to loosen up the whole hip flexors and everything like that. So next one, we're going to go into that progression. Again, just as I said yesterday, if you've got room to go ahead and take these out a good 10, 15 feet. Otherwise, you can do them in place. My plan for the rest of the workouts, tomorrow I'm going to post the dynamic warm-up. So the rest of the workouts from here on out won't have your dynamic warm-up in it. I want you to just do those ahead of time and then tune in for the workout. So first one is going to be knee pulls. So you can just pull that knee to the chest, high as you can. Step through it. So if you don't have room to keep walking these out, just do a couple in a row. We're going to go for about 10 knee pulls all together. Pull it up to the chest. Don't let that chest come forward with it, because that's going to not necessarily give us what we're looking for. So keep that chest nice and high. Pull it up high as you can. We're going to do one more on each leg. Big pull. Step through. Same thing, big pull. All right, then we're going to turn that into a high knee run. So I want your arms swinging. And anytime your arms are swinging, a lot of times I see kids lose speed because their arms are doing all sorts of stuff. So that's generally one of the first things we try to correct. And we can do that with these high knee runs and really anything else we do. So it should be cheek to cheek. So my elbows are staying at that 90 degrees and they're not winging out to the side. You'll be astonished at how much speed you maintain or gain if you're just keeping these elbows tucked right in here. So high knees, nice and high. Get them breathing, going for about 10 seconds. Keep them as light as you can. Make sure you're getting the knees above the hips. And time. All right, so now we're going to pull our foot kind of up to our chest. And again, don't let that chest fall forward. So I'm going to pull right here. Big pull. Get that good stretch. Step through it. Big pull. Same thing. Just take a couple steps back. Going to get that good stretch. Step through it every time. And again, try to make sure you're not leaning forward to meet this. You're staying up tall, pulling your leg up to your chest, not letting your chest fall forward down to your leg. You should really feel this stretch right back here. We're going to do about 4 more. Big pull all the way up. Big reach. Same thing. All the way up. There we go. Then we're going to do some butt kicks. Same thing. Remember that cheek to cheek. Don't let the arms flail out here. Every single time, if you're one of those people that doesn't have your arm position in the right spot, be willing to practice it. Don't let yourself settle for going all over the place. So right here, going 10 seconds on these butt kicks, high as you can. Got to get those heels all the way up. Arms swinging. Keep that 90 degree in those arms. Keep them up. Here we go. And time. All right. What do I got next? All right, so you're going to pull the foot up right here and reach forward. Try not to tip over sideways. That defeats the purpose. Reach forward. Same thing. Try to keep that nice flat back. Shoulders back. Good stretch here. Big pull. Get that big stretch. You should feel it in front of the legs and the quads. Reaching as far as you can. Stretch it out. You should really feel the front and the back of your legs starting to open up throughout this whole warm-up. That's kind of the whole point. We got to unlock the area that contains all of our speed, all of our height, all of our explosive power. We've got to unlock it. So next we're going to just do some Frankensteins. So I'm going to kick high as I can. Keep my foot flexed right here. Big reach. Come down. Meet it. All the way up. Stretch them out. And again, if you had room to move, you would just walk these out as you're going all the way up. Let's get one more on each. Big reach. All right. Next, we got some lunges. So we're going to go forward lunge again. Make sure you're correcting it. If you're one of those people whose knees going out over the toes, take the time to correct it right now. Why not? We're all in the off season, so let's get better. So I'm going to reach that same leg that's up. Going to stretch it right here. Switching legs. Down. Sink down in it. And if you have the room to do it, step through these. So I'm going to take that step, sink down in this, and then I'm going to try to go from here out to that next step without sinking it way down. Get a couple more. We'll go 2 more on each side. Nice and low. Big stretch. Try to go from back to front. These don't need to be quick. They need to be right. So if you're hustling through any of this, it's not really going to give you as much as you could out of it. So let yourself slow it down. We're going to do 1 more on each and take the time to do it right rather than do it quickly. Oftentimes with speed and jump training, we just go way too fast. That's part of the issue. We've got to be willing to slow it down and do it right in order to get quicker in the end. All right. We're going to do some lateral lunges now. Just kidding. Sorry, we're going to do some reverse lunges. So I'm going to be right here. Big step back. Try to at least get 2 steps of this so that you can work from front to back and down. So next time, step back with the other leg first. Right here. Try to make sure that you are not stepping down in between. Work that balance from front to back. And if you can remember what leg you're doing, make sure that you are alternating them each time. Right down into it. We're going to go about 3 more of these. Down. Big step. Sink it down into it. Next. Right down here. Big step. Right down into it. All right. So now we're going to go those side to side. So I'm just going to do side lunge. Right into another side lunge. I'm going to step it out. Do the same thing. Side, side. Step it up. Going side to side and walk it out. So again, with these, try to really make sure that knee is not coming out over that toe. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to make sure this knee is staying back, move my hips back and down while keeping my chest up rather than going out here. So let's get a couple more of those in. Side, side. Walk it out if you don't have the room. Same thing, other side, side. Walk it out. Let's do 2 more on each. Big lunge, big lunge. Open up those hips. Make sure they're moving back and down every time. Your weight should be in your heels, your plant foot. My heel should be driving down into the ground. All right. Lastly, we're going to stretch out those hammies a little bit. So you're just going to take the step. Foot that goes forward stays straight. I'm going to reach down. Foot that stays forward goes straight. And I'm going to reach down and just kind of touch the ground. Big step out. Nice flat back if you can. Should feel a good stretch in the hamstring of that front leg. Push those hips back every single time. So I'm just trying to actively stretch out that hamstring. Keep that front leg as straight as you can get it. It's all right if there's that little bend in it, as long as you're feeling that stretch in that hamstring every time. All right, then we're going to do some body weight squats. And again, remember, it's worth correcting it if they're not looking right now because we have the time, so put in the work. So I'm going to have my hands behind my head. My feet are about hip width apart. My toes are slightly out. I'm going to sink my hips down, and my knees need to stay tracking with my toes. So keep that chest up right here. Biggest thing that I watch for on this, when we go down in this squat, my back and my bottom part of my leg should be able to stay kind of parallel. If I was tracking them, they wouldn't meet. So if that's the case, if you're squatting and your chest is coming way down, really work on moving those hips back and down and try to correct that angle so that my back, angle of my back, is even with the ankle of my tibia. All right, so 10 of those. Then we're going to do a single leg reach. So going to be one hand over top, single leg. I'm going to hinge down, try to reach across my body, touch my toes. So nice soft knee, reach all the way down. Every time, bring that hand back up. We're going to go for 10 on each side. Should be a little bit of a soft knee. So by soft knee, I mean just a little bit of a bend in my knee. I'm not consciously trying to squat with it, but I'm just hinging back. Big reach. Again, this should loosen up those hamstrings. Should be starting to work on that balance. Going the same thing on the other leg. If you have one leg that's worse than the other, don't worry. It's totally normal. But maybe think about working twice as hard on that leg that's tough. So for example, I tore my ACL, tore up my knee in college. So this one, I still have far less ability to maintain that balance for as long. So I've got to be willing to slow it down on this leg and work just a little bit harder to find that balance rather than rushing through it, because rushing through it isn't going to get me better. It's not going to really help me in any way. All right, so we're going to move on to our activation portion. So that's your dynamic warm-up. Oops, sorry, just kidding. Got one more. Almost forgot the best one. So we got our hip rotations. Going to go side to side, loosen up those hips. Again, first 20 or so, you're just doing them fluid, going quick as you can. Just get them nice and loose. Now we're going to plant our feet. This leg needs to stay straight up and down. I'm going to push inside of my leg down to the ground. Controlled. Notice my outside leg is not moving. I'm not moving my chest. Everything needs to stay square except for this leg that's rotating down to the ground. So you should really start to feel it on the outside of your hips. It's got to loosen it up. So if you're one of those people that your squat, you're leaning way forward, this is a great one to really add in a lot of these. And just as a side note, if you're that person who's leaning really forward or your knees are coming out, so do more of those hip swings that we were just doing. And then also you can do a standing version of it. So I'm right here and I'm going to go side to side, fluid. And then I'm gonna try to do that same thing and internally rotate. I would recommend doing 20 of those. Also, the standing version, they're gonna burn like a mother, but they are gonna help loosen up those hips, work on that squat form, get you more straight up rather than bending forward on them. So that's just a side note while we're talking about it. Anyway, so that's our dynamic warm-up. Again, I'm gonna film that. I'll post it on Wednesday since we don't have anything scheduled for Wednesday. And then going into Thursday, do your dynamic warm-up and then tune into the full workout. All right, so gonna go with that hip activation stretch. So as I was talking about yesterday, if you're stretching your hip flexor, I recommend just pushing your hips back and then only feeling this hip push out. Don't let yourself lean all the way into it because you're not going to isolate right here as much as we want you to. So you're going to push just that part of the hip up. And if you need to feel it more, reach over the head. We're going to hold this for about 15 seconds. You should really feel it right in here. And again, remember, loosening it up and activating these muscles are going to be a huge part in gaining strength, gaining speed, gaining height on that vertical. So it might seem tedious, which it is. I can't say when I was a youth athlete, the stretching part of this was my favorite. In fact, I ignored it often. But I can tell you, after working with a lot of youth athletes, this is the difference maker. The kids who are willing to do the warm-up, do the little details, those are the ones who get better. So keep that in mind. If you're one of those kids who just rushes through the stretching portion of your workouts, I've got news for you. You will get better. You will get faster. You will jump higher. If you're willing to put in the little details of work, it will blow you away. If you focus on this for the next 8 weeks and you go through this dynamic warm-up and these activation parts, I can promise you, you will jump higher, you will run faster, and you will be amazed at how much of a difference it makes. So next we're going to do those monster walks. So if you have a resistance band, grab your resistance band. Otherwise, we can do it without. As a side note, you'll also need a chair or some kind of step, or just even like the bottom step on your stairs is just fine, whatever you have. I'm going to use a stool I've got here. So monster walks, I'm going to sit down in this, and I'm going to try to walk, feel the toe, nice and low. You're going to go about 30 seconds on these. And if you can go backwards with them, well, go backwards with them too. Stay nice and low. Keep walking here. Sit in them. They should be burning pretty good right about now. All right, so then we're going to go activate them side to side. So I'm going to sit down in it right here. Going to step out side to side. Want you to do 10 one way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! That plant leg should be burning up. All right, same thing on the other leg. And again, if you don't have a resistance band, that's all right. It'll burn just fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you could also add into that the backwards version of it, stepping back with it. We're not going to do it today for time purposes, but you can add in that backwards step. That's going to just get a whole nother layer of activation for you. All right, so we're going to move on. Next portion of it, got some power exercises. So like I said in the intro, I'm going to walk you through, what do I got? I got 5 exercises for the power section. So I'm going to walk you through each of them. Then I'm going to have you pause, go through the rest of the sets. I'll let you know how many reps, how many sets I want, and then we'll move on to the strength section. So first, we've got those jumps right here. 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember with those, the goal is to keep them just in the ankles. Explosive power from that ankle joint. Balls of the feet, don't ever sit down. Power skips. So right here, I'm just driving up so I can stay in place. Or if you need to, if you have room to move forward, go ahead and do so. I'm gonna go as high as I can. 2. So you're gonna do 10 on each leg, high as you can. That's 3. Same thing. Really use that arm. Reach it up. You're going for height, not distance. So a lot of times, keep going with these reps as I'm talking through it. A lot of times I see kids try to gain a lot of ground with these. These are not about gaining ground. So if you've ever lined up in a team sport and you're all working down to do your warm-up, whatever you're doing, everybody wants to go fast. Well, these aren't supposed to be fast. They're supposed to be height. They're supposed to be for repetitions. So you're going to keep driving up high as you can. You're not trying to cover a lot of distance. You're going for height. So you're going to do 10 on each leg of those. Then we got some bounds. So it's a 2-foot bound. We're going to add in some single leg bounds as we progress. Just not going to hit them today, but all right. So I'm going to use my arms, both feet coming forward, trying to drive my knees up and out, high as I can to start with, and then walk it back. So you're going to do 10 of them. Drive those knees high as you can, and I'm going to land as lightly as I can too. So keep going through 10 reps of these right here, up and out, walk it back. I believe that's 3. High as you can, use these arms. Explode up, drive those knees up, nice and low, up and out. Give me about 3 more of those. While I'm talking, give me 3 more of those. So biggest thing with that though, is you've got to be willing to land lightly. So a lot of times we're doing them and I'm crunching down on them. They need to be light. Your whole living room is shaking right now, and I need you to lighten it up. Next time you do these, I want you to go for distance. So I was just trying to go as high as I could there. My next one, I'm going to stay low, and I'm going to cover as much ground as I can on them. So keep that in mind. Then we're going to do single leg hops. So same thing we were doing with both feet. So I'm going to go with 1. Right here, I'm going to go 10 on each leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same thing on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going as high as I can, working that balance. And lastly, we're going to go side to side. Pick a line, hop over something, whatever you got, doesn't really matter. But I'm going to do the same thing, using my arms, trying to just use that ankle flexion, power through the ankles right here, side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that's our whole power section for today's. So what I want you to do, the goal total is to do 4 sets of 10 of everything. So you have 4 sets of 10 of those 2-foot hops, 4 sets of 10 of those power skips, and that's 10 on each leg. 4 sets of 10 of those bounds. And remember, that first one, if you were just going along, that was for height. The next time you get back to these, I want you to go for distance. And then again, when you circle back, go for height. And then that 4th one, go for distance again. Then you got your single leg hops, 4 sets of 10 on each leg for those. And then those side to side hops, 4 sets of 10 on those. So just to keep it easy, we pared down the sets and reps to make sure that they're kind of even. So then go ahead and pause your video, do those. You should have 3 sets left of each, 10 reps of everything. And then we're going to move on to our strength section of today's workout. All right. So for our strength section, you're going to need something to step off of, even if that's your couch. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But if that's your couch, great. If you have a chair, great. Something you can step off of. So like I said yesterday, this first part of our speed and jump workouts are to work on our absorption. So that's what we're really doing today. We're going to do a lot of depth jumps. We're going to work on that. So I got 6 exercises for you guys. First one is just going to be a regular depth jump. So I'm going to start up here on my box, and all I'm doing is taking a step out, and I'm trying to land as lightly as I can. So I'm going to step out, and I'm going to land lightly as I can. Alternate what foot is stepping out. You're not jumping off. You're just stepping. Embrace that jump as low as you can. It's going to feel a little goofy, but again, we're working on that absorption. So these should be nice and light. You shouldn't hear a big thud when you're doing them. Get low as you can. The higher the step, the better. But if you're thudding down from a tiny little step, you want to make sure you're working that absorption first. Should be doing 10 of these all together. Try to alternate foot, steps off. Again, the goal on this is to not hear them. So the lighter, the better. That is what we're practicing on that first set of depth jumps. And then shake them out. Now we're going to go a depth jump to a vertical jump. So the idea is to absorb my jump best I can, and then transfer that energy into an actual jump or another movement. So that's always the goal. We want to absorb and be able to turn quick or jump quick out of wherever we're at. So we're going to go a depth jump to a vertical jump. So I'm going to go down, land as lightly as I can, and then explode up with it. So nice and soft on my landing, right down into it, and then explode up quick as I can. As soon as I hit the bottom of that depth jump, I want to transfer my energy and jump up high as you can. So you're going to go 10 of these. So let's just finish those out. I think that was 4. Right down. 5. Same thing. Land as lightly as you can, though. Make sure that first one is as light as you can. And then you're going to go right up into those jumps. Nice and light. And then explode. Give me about 3 more of those. And then we'll move on to our next one. All right, so one part of jump and speed training that is often left out is our upper body. We've got to be able to do the same thing with our upper body as our lower body. If we don't correct that, we're probably not going to get much faster. And if we do, we're going to be really fast one way, and then we're just really fast one way, and we fall down or we get our butts beat moving the opposite direction, particularly if you're like a basketball player. Great if you can go quick this way, but then someone's going to burn you going by you. So we've got to have our upper body involved in that. So we're going to do some explosive push-ups. Keep in mind, I have a hurt shoulder, so they're not going to be the prettiest explosive push-ups in the world, but we're going to get them done anyway. So my goal is to do that 4 count on the way down. So I'm going to do 4 on my way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Explode high as you can. Then I'm going to reset every time. Going 1, 2, 3, 4. Explode every single time. If you can add a clap, give me a clap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. If not, that's okay. You're just doing 5 of these for each set. So finish them out. Give me 2 more of those. As slow and controlled as you can. Make sure you're squeezing your whole core. Keep that nice straight line and then explode out of that bottom. So even if you can't get any air, just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop it up as strong as you can. Think absorption and then power. All right. Then we're going to move on back to our depth jumps. So you're going to do a depth jump to a lunge jump. So these are going to get a little dicey. Our balance could get a little rough, but stick with them. Give me the best you got. So again, remember, depth jump first. Absorption of the depth jump. Then you're going to bring it right up into a lunge jump. So I'm going to come off my box or my chair, my couch. I'm going to do my good depth jump, nice and low. And then I'm going to explode up into a lunge jump. So I'm going to try to stay on that same leg. Absorb my jump. Step off of it into that lunge. Try to spread the feet. That was not the best example in the world. Try to spread your feet out a little bit further. So I'm going to go down into it. Right down into it. So we're going to do 5 on each leg. So I'm going to go down, absorb, pop it up, right down into that lunge jump, and absorb that lunge jump as well. We're going to go one more on this side. Down, up, absorb that landing best you can. So go ahead, give me 5 more on your other leg while I'm talking through those. Stand on up. So key to these, as you're working through them at home, is landing lightly, both on that depth jump, and then I'm transferring my power coming up. But then I've also Gotta land as lightly as I can into this lunge. So remember, the first goal is light landing, and then we work on the height, the power coming out of it. So, but we got to get that absorption down first. Hopefully you've worked through all 5 of those by now. And oh, now it's going to get fun. So I need you to find like a doorway or something that you can hold on to. Maybe you'll be able to do these on your own without something to hold on to, but a lot of us can't initially. It's called pistol squat. So I'm going to go ahead and grab onto, actually we'll go right here. So I'm going to hold on to my rig. If this was your doorway, your foot will be right out in front. And I'm going to move my hips back and down. One foot is up. I'm going as far back as I can. 2, 3, 4. And then I'm standing up strong. So I'm doing that 4 count on the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to explode up as quick as I can. Coming out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you can do these without holding on to something, great. Keep going with them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Explode up. My goal for you is 10 on each leg. So you can either pause your video or try to get through those 10 while I'm talking. So ideally what we're doing with that pistol squat is I'm moving my hips back and down. And as I go down, I'm working up that absorption in my glutes. I'm lowering down nice and low and slowly. And again, controlling that way down. I can't emphasize enough. I know I sound like a broken record, but that is going to be the key to getting stronger, jumping higher, running quicker, all of the above. So yeah, and be willing to put in the work. I can honestly say for myself, the seasons I got better, the seasons I did well, particularly in college, are the ones that I spent the off season working when nobody was watching. So this is your chance to work when no one's watching and get better. So hopefully you've gone through those 10 pistol squats. If not, I'm going to move on real quick and then you can come back to them if you need to. The last part of the strength series is going to be a low squat jump. These are going to burn a little bit, but you're going to do them anyway. You're doing 10 of these. That's going to be our last exercise in this strength part of this. So I'm going to stay nice and low in this squat, right? And I'm just going to do my squat jump out of here. 10 of them, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So on these, I'm on the balls of my feet the whole time. And I don't really want my hips to move all that much up and down. It's just a little low range squat jump. This should burn pretty good. If you want to step it up, add some reps to it. So to review that whole strength section, before you hit pause and keep going with them. So I've got the depth jumps. Remember, you're trying to land as lightly as you can. Paramount, absolute most important part of this whole thing. So you're going to do 4 sets of 10 of those. Hopefully you already did one of those. Then you're going to do 4 sets of 10 of that depth jump to that vertical jump. Then you're going to do 4 sets of 5 of those explosive push-ups. So remember, going as low as you can down, squeeze that core, big breath out, pop it up as best as you can. You can add a clap, awesome. If not, don't try to do it if you can't do it in control. Watch your face. And then you got the depth jump to the lunge jump. You're going to do 5 on each leg of that lunge jump. If you want to step it up and do more, awesome. That's great. And then we have the single leg pistol squat. I want you to do 10 on each leg. They are going to burn. Use as little of a grip as you can on your doorway. The less, the better. So you're going to go down nice and slow with them. You're going to do 10 of those on each leg, and then you're going to do 10 of the low range jump squats. So 4 sets of 10 of everything, except for those push-ups, you'll just do sets of 5. So to keep it easy, 4 sets of 10 on everything. So then go ahead and pause your video, and we're going to go on to our last part, our core. Got 3 core exercises for you. So first one is going to be sprinter sit-ups. You're going to do 30 of everything 3 times. So you're going to work through all 3, 30 reps of each. Then you're going to repeat that 3 times, and then we'll be done. So we've got our sprinter sit-up. So sprinter sit-up is right here. I'm going to drive my knee to my elbow. Big quick turn, just like a sprinter coming out of the box. So if you've ever seen anybody sprint, you're not just going to come out nice and easy and lay around. You're going to go drive that knee up big turn, quick as you can with that turn. Drive that knee to elbow, big rotation. So you're gonna do 30 of those. Then we're gonna move on to our toe touch plank. So we're gonna be right here in a plank. Gonna reach, start in my good plank position, nice flat back. Gonna reach all the way across, come back down, flat as you can. Every time, those hips need to go up and return to that good plank position. Notice my hands are not out front. Often we're doing planks, push-ups, almost everything, mountain climbers even. I see people come out front. These hands need to be under that shoulder in a good strong plank. So you're gonna do 30 of those, 1, 2, and so on. Then lastly, I got an iron cross. So you're gonna go 30 seconds on each side. So good flat back, right here, good solid plank. So you should feel some good tension in your back if you're doing these right. If you're too low or too high, you're gonna feel them somewhere else. Should be a straight line, 30 seconds on each side. So to wrap it up, the core section, gonna do sprinter sit-ups, 30 total. Gonna do the toe touch planks, 30 total. Iron cross for 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. So that's kind of all I got for you guys today. Again, let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at info@ffcfond du Lac.com, or if you're looking for more specifics, if you want more help with your form, next week we're going to go outside, I think, because we've got some room to run. We really want to start working on those sprints, but we're going to stick with more of the jump stuff this week because it's still a little bit chilly here in Wisconsin. But then we'll get it outside, and I'll give you guys some drills to work through outside. However, if you want more specific stuff for your sport, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, it doesn't really matter, softball, we can give you more sport-specific stuff. If you're interested in some virtual personal training, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Please let me know any questions, comments, concerns. If you're loving them, if you're hating them, I don't care. Let me know. Remember, it's time to get better. Put in the work. That's all I got.